Introduction. In the heart of ancient Egypt, there were great kings who built an empire that lasted for thousands of years. But behind their thrones, there were women who were not merely their consorts, they sat on the throne themselves, becoming symbols of power, wisdom, and leadership. In this video, we will tell you inspiring stories of the pharaonic queens who changed the course of history. From Meret Neith, the first queen to rule Egypt, to Cleopatra VII, the last of Egypt's great pharaohs, we will reveal how these women carved their paths to power and ruled one of the greatest civilizations in history. Meret Neith, the first queen to rule Egypt at the beginning of the Pharaonic dynasties, when Egypt was in conflict with its legends and traditions, Meret Neith ascended to the throne to become the first woman to lead a great nation. She belonged to the first dynasty and was a wife of the king. However, contrary to prevailing norms, Meret Neith found herself ruling alone after her husband's death, at a time when women had no place on the throne. The tablets discovered in the Abydos tomb indicate that she ruled independently, not just as a consort. This queen is recognized for her prominent status in ancient Egyptian history, where her name was recorded in royal annals alongside the male members of the royal family, demonstrating her strength and legitimacy in ruling the country. Despite the limited information available about her reign, her legacy remains a testament to the greatness of Egypt's first female monarch. Although there is little detail about her reign, Meret Neith is considered a symbol of strength and defiance against the social norms of her time, which believed that women should not hold political power. Kentkes, the queen who transferred the throne during the 4th dynasty, amidst the political changes following the death of the king, Kentkes emerged as a queen who played a decisive role in the transfer of the throne from one dynasty to another. Her husband was a king who did not come from pure royal blood, and when he died, her son was too young to rule. Therefore, Queen Kentkes took charge, establishing her rule by carrying the title Queen of Upper and Lower Egypt and Mother of the King of Egypt. Kentkes proved her strength by assuming the throne with legitimacy, having her name inscribed alongside the names of kings in monumental inscriptions and overseeing the construction of grand temples at Giza. She is believed to have been the rightful heir to the royal family, which helped facilitate the transition of the throne from the 4th to the 5th dynasty, playing a crucial role in stabilizing the country during that turbulent period. Kentkes is one of the great examples of how women dealt with political challenges in times of transition, where her wisdom helped maintain stability and strengthen the royal legitimacy of Egypt in difficult times. Hatshepsut, the pharaoh who empowered women. Hatshepsut is one of the most famous pharaonic queens and one of the greatest rulers in Egyptian history. Daughter of King Thutmose I, she took the throne with great skill and wisdom. She initially served as regent for her stepson Thutmose III, who was still a child, but over time, thanks to her political acumen and excellent relationships with religious leaders, she declared herself pharaoh. Her reign lasted for around 20 years, during which she achieved many economic and cultural accomplishments. She sent trade expeditions to Punt, a region on the Red Sea coast, bolstering Egypt's economy through the trade of incense, perfumes, and woods. She also initiated an extensive building program, including the construction of monumental temples, most famously the Temple of Deir el-Bahari in Thebes, which became one of ancient Egypt's landmarks. But the story is not just about material achievements. Hatshepsut solidified her position as pharaoh through the inscriptions at her temple, which describe her divine birth and emphasize that she was chosen by the gods, making her a divinely blessed ruler. She was also an inspiring role model for women's empowerment, showing that women could lead the country with success and high competence. Tawosret, the last pharaoh of the 19th dynasty after the death of her husband Merneptah, Egypt faced a period of political instability following the collapse of the 19th dynasty. However, in these challenging times, Tawosret emerged as the last queen to rule the 19th dynasty. Tawosret was able to prove herself as a leader, maintaining power for 8 years. While her reign was short compared to other queens, it was marked by tensions and wars. However, she strengthened the internal situation by managing state affairs, especially during a period when the strongest king was facing economic and military difficulties. Tawosret passed away at the end of her reign, marking the end of the 19th dynasty. She was the last royal figure in the dynasty that ruled Egypt during periods of both power and great political challenges. Despite the short length of her reign, her role in maintaining order and stability in the state was crucial. Cleopatra VII, the queen who defended Egypt as the Roman Empire expanded across the Mediterranean, Cleopatra VII, the last of Egypt's pharaonic queens, fought to resist Rome's attempts to dominate Egypt. Cleopatra was born into the Ptolemaic dynasty, which had Greek origins, but she possessed great ambition and a strong desire to maintain her country's independence. Cleopatra was not only a beautiful queen but also a shrewd political strategist. She sought the help of several prominent Roman figures, such as Julius Caesar and Mark Antony, to secure her throne and prevent Rome from swallowing Egypt. However, over time, her political struggles with Rome led to her tragic downfall, as she was defeated at the Battle of Actium, which ultimately led to her suicide in 30 BCE. Cleopatra was the last symbol of Egypt's great pharaonic civilization, and her death marked the end of the long reign of the pharaohs. Despite the end of her rule, her story remains immortalized in history as one of the greatest female leaders in the world. She continues to be regarded as a symbol of political intelligence and leadership in times of crisis. Women in ancient Egyptian society. Women in ancient Egypt, especially queens, held a unique position. Their roles were not confined to the household, they played significant roles in the public sphere. Women had the right to own property and could manage it freely. This extended to commercial activities, where many women participated in markets and in crafts such as perfume and jewelry making. There were also women working in medicine, such as Hatshepsut, who held the position of chief of physicians during the 4th dynasty. In the judicial field, there were women like Nebet, who served as a minister and judge during the 6th dynasty. Egyptian women were known for their ability to manage businesses and farms, and they often assisted their husbands in their work. Many women in fields like medicine or law held important positions, highlighting the significant role they played in the development and protection of the state. Conclusion: women in ancient Egypt were not merely successors to kings, but were essential parts of a great civilization that helped build an empire that stood strong for over 3,000 years. From Meret Neith to Cleopatra VII, each pharaonic queen represented a symbol of strength, intellect, and wisdom, proving that leadership was not restricted to men alone. Today, the stories of these women continue to inspire many women around the world to break barriers and play leadership roles in their communities. If you enjoyed this video and want to discover more about ancient Egypt and the great women in its history, don't forget to subscribe to the channel.